Hey everyone, so this is more of my Robotech collection, mostly spanning the Robotech The Masters Saga and Robotech The Untold Story slash Robotech the Movie. Um, yeah, I've made a couple figures for that era in Robotech. After this, I'll be doing my Next Generation and Shadow Chronicles customs alongside my um Robotech 2 The Sentinels customs. So enjoy. So first thing I wanted to show off was this Gamlin Mizaki from Macross Plus that I made a while ago. Um yeah, I forgot to show this in the last video. I have a VF Nightmare on my shelf and I just wanted to display a pilot next to it. It's pretty basic. The head and legs and crotch are Rand's. The arms are Rick Hunter's, and the torso is Dana Sterling. Just the basic repaint. But it's a close enough look to the pilot from the anime. Next up is Fef from Macross 2. Yeah, this one I did simply out of boredom. I was watching Macross 2, and yeah, I had a bunch of extra parts, and I wanted to see if I could make it. Let's see. The bottom legs were Korgs. The upper legs were Zor Prime. The crotch and the arms were also Zor. Crotch, arms, and head were Zor Primes. And the chest was Dana Sterling. Not gonna lie, this one wasn't as great. I feel like I could have done better. But again, was limiting myself to the parts available in the Matchbox Robotech line. And to be honest, I could not find a lot of good reference pictures for the character. So this was the best I was able to do, but something extra for my collection, you know? Up next is Eve from Robotech The Untold Story or Robotech the Movie. She was an AI idol singer created by, I want to say it was the government in that movie. But yeah, I liked her character and I wanted to have some more idol singers in my collection. Fun fact, if what was it? If the original plans for Robotech the movie were to be used, her character would have shown up again in Robotech 2 The Sentinels. However, things were changed around. The plot and timeline for that movie was changed. So her character ended up becoming the character of Janice in Robotech 2 The Sentinels. It's a pretty basic build. It's just it was a spare Lin Minmay figure I had. The crotch was a extra Lisa Hayes one. And yeah, it was all based off concept art for one of Eve's designs that shows up in the movie. This right here is the main character from Robotech the movie, Mark Landry, which, fun fact, in the original, how do you call that? In the original draft for that movie, Mark was supposed to be Rick Hunter's cousin who was trying to expose the fact that the government was hiding what happened to the SDF-1. But yeah, things changed around. They had to change the script and the original story that they had. His design is actually based off the main character from Megazone 2-3. Which, yeah, that itself is a pretty cool OVA. I didn't dig the other two parts they did after the first, but it's still pretty damn good. The figure itself is actually really basic. It's a Rand figure. Like, yeah, pretty much the legs, crotch, torso, and arms are Rand. And the head is a Rick Hunter head. Unfortunately, some of the paint has been coming off because these were in storage for a few years while I moved. And yeah, being in storage, even with a few protective measures, yeah, they still had some paint rub. Next up is the main villain from Robotech the movie, B.D. Edwards. Yeah, in the movie he's wearing like a high-tech suit, which sort of looks like the cyclone armor that later on appears in part 3. So yeah, essentially it's a gray and darker gray version of that armor, and a Zor head that was modified to fit it. He originally had a helmet that was gray and orange, however, I lost that during a move. But yeah, no, I feel it was good. Plus, it was nice to put some other villains besides the Robotech Masters and the Biotech Terminators on my Robotech Masters shelf, because yeah, that's all pretty much the same figure over and over again. Next up is Dana Sterling from the Robotech Remix comic. Yeah, to anyone who doesn't know, in that comic, the Dana Sterling from the original timeline / the anime goes back in time, but she ends up in an alternate universe, and because she went back in time, it sort of like changed timelines. And she is stuck in a world where she doesn't exist. Max and Miria don't get together. And yeah, she's pretty much stranded in this alternate world. Unfortunately, I'm not really sure how the story ends because, yeah, the book was canceled or on indefinite hiatus. But like, yeah, one of the main pieces of art that they kept showing over and over again was Dana in a Veritech pilot outfit. Which, yeah, I wanted to make one for my collection. The body is a Lisa Hayes body that was sanded down in some parts. She has the red, white, and blue flight suit with gray straps. Yeah, no, I gotta finish painting up the backpack. I ran out of gray paint that matches with the original backpack, so I'm looking for that. But yeah, no, it's something I wanted to do because, yeah, it's a pretty cool design, and once again, I just wanted more pilots for my collection. This too is another character from the Robotech Remix comic. It's actually a clone of Rick Hunter, which, again, they don't explain why there's a clone of Rick Hunter or why he's evil or why he has white hair. Last he shows up in the comic, he's strangling Dana, and I believe it's Bowie hits him in the back of the head with a pipe or a wrench. But yeah, again, I just wanted some more diversity in my Robotech Masters shelf because, yeah, there's a lot of repetition in that one. You know, a lot of Biotech androids, Robotech Masters, and Invid fighters. But yeah, his basic body was made up of, let's see, it was Zor Primes, and actually, yeah, that's about it. Zor Prime and a Rick Hunter head. This right here was another character from the Robotech Remix comic, Armorous Black. I'm not really sure how to say his name. But yeah, he just kind of shows up with a clone Rick Hunter, and you're not really told much about him. In fact, in most of the series that he does show up, he has a mask that I wasn't really sure how to make. I'm still trying to figure that out. Um, I actually had a whole theory about him that he was supposed to be an alternate timeline version of Zor Prime because, yeah, his name is pretty much a reverse of Zor's original Japanese name. Plus, he looks like Zor. And yeah, I wanted more characters for my Robotech Masters shelf other than Robotech Masters and Bioroid Terminators. His body is pretty simple. The legs were... His legs... His legs, torso, crotch, and arms were made from Korg. His head was a modified Zor Prime. And the collar on the on the Korg body was modified to fit the head. Sculpted some little detail on the wrist. But yeah, no, like I wish they finished Robotech Remix. It was a pretty good series. Now it's on to actual characters that show up in the anime. This right here was Marie Angel. Or you know what, no, Marie Crystal. I'm thinking of a different character. But yeah, she was the pilot of the Ajax and the Logan in the Robotech anime. Yeah, she's pretty basic. She was a modified Dana torso, modified Korg arms, Dana crotch and Dana legs, and a Lisa Hayes head. Pretty much a silver and black paint job. Her helmet is a Dana Sterling helmet, just silver and with some green. Next up is Nova Satori. She was like a military police in the Robotech Masters season of Robotech. Just like a lot, you're gonna be hearing this a lot because a lot of the characters from this era were made of Dana Sterling parts. But yeah, Dana Sterling legs, pretty much everything Dana Sterling except the head. The head was a Rook Bartley head with blue hair, since I already had a lot of female characters with the Lisa Hayes head. Yeah, no, this was actually one I wanted to make right away because, I don't know, I liked her character design and I liked her in the show. Yeah, I wish I could have found a helmet that would have worked for her helmet design. Like, it's a more of a samurai style mask helmet. And yeah, other than that, you know, this is one of my favorite ones that I did. Pretty basic paint job, but yeah, working with what I got, you know. I gave her these random G.I. Joe weapons because, yeah, you know, Robotech pistols for some reason are going for like $24, and I had these laying around, so they worked for her character. Next up, these are all pretty much the same thing, just some different details here and there. They're Dana Squadron, the 15th Armored Tactical Division. It never made any sense to me why Matchbox didn't make these, since, yeah, they're essentially just repaints. I mean, probably different heads they would have done, but essentially you would have saved up on a lot of tooling. But yeah, I had a lot of extra Danas. I try to find some other way to make them. So yeah, here's a quick rundown. So first up is Bowie Grant. He was Dana's best friend in the series. Just like I said, the whole body is Dana Sterling. The head too is in fact Dana Sterling. Yeah, for some reason with this one I went a little bit more creative with the detail. did details on the leg armor and the shoulder armor and the collar, because I think everybody else just either has the regular armor, or actually no, two of them got painted collars. But yeah, pretty much just a full-on basic Dana repaint. Like, yeah, no part swapping on this one. This right here was Sean Phillips. She, again, another member of Dana's Corps. Again, just like all the other ones, Dana body. Oop. This time it had no little detail. The head is Zor Prime, just modified to fit the Dana body. Speaking of Zor Prime, this yeah, it's Zor in a armored division uniform. I mean, a Southern Cross uniform. Yeah, no, same basic detail. Didn't even have to modify the head. Yeah, no, again, just a basic repaint. If you notice on a bunch of them, I used different shades of blue. I was experimenting, and like, yeah, I just wanted to see like which combinations would look better. Plus I kind of like it. It kind of gives them a bit of personality, you know? That way it's all not 100% uniformed. This right here is Louis Nichols. Again, just like all the other ones, it is a Dana body, a Max Sterling head, and yeah, the only difference with him is I chose to use some more metallic blue paints on him, since yeah, in the show he's more of a tech guy. I don't know, I just felt like metallic blue would be a better fit for that. I've actually been debating going back and repainting those sunglasses. Cause yeah, most of the reference photos that I've seen, his glasses are all black. So yeah, that's been something I've been debating on. Also, if you notice on a bunch of these Dana bodies, the thumbs are always broken off. I've managed to get a bunch of these cheap because of that. But it's something, if you're ever looking for a Dana, to look out for. The thumbs are really fragile. They break off super easily. Next up is Angelo Dante, who yeah, this one I'm not gonna lie, I'm not 100% satisfied with. Compared to all the other ones, he has a lot more lighter shades of blue. And his head was originally a Centrati warrior head that I had lying around in the box. I realized that, yeah, if I repainted it, it pretty much looked like Dante. However, I chose a flesh tone color that, yeah, did not look that great. And for my own preferences, the hair is too bright. I kind of want to go back with a darker brown and touch that up. And possibly find a better flesh tones for this character. Because, yeah, this one kind of looks uncanny. There are a few more that I want to make. However, the issue is finding good heads that will match these characters. And just finding accessories that will match. I know there's a reference book for Southern Cross that shows all the variations that they wanted to do, but in the Japanese version they got cut short like by a lot. And since they technically didn't appear in Robotech, it just felt weird kind of adding those, you know? Next up is the only vehicle / mech that I made or customized for the Robotech Masters collection that I have. It's essentially one of the Invid biofighters repainted blue. Because once again, it was pretty simple for Matchbox to do, to take the Invid Biofighter that they had and release a blue version. Because yeah, in the series, the blue ones are the basic standard enemy mech, and the red ones were a one-of-a-kind mech for Zor Prime, or for like their top aces. Which, yeah, later on during the Exo Squad release, they released a variant of that one where it was a darker, almost brown color, which I'm not sure if that ended up later on becoming incorporated into Robotech lore or vice versa. But yeah, it's still only two variations. I had another Invid fighter that, yeah, if you can tell right there, the foot is sort of damaged. So I took it apart, repainted it dark blue and light blue, just so I could have a standard mech, you know. Which, oddly enough, yeah, since it's the only blue Invid fighter in my collection, it stands out a lot more than the red Bioroid fighter. And finally, this isn't a Robotech custom. However, like I said, I wanted to add stuff to my Robotech collection, specifically the Masters section, because out of all three sagas, that's the one who got the least amount of figures. You know, like I said, for my Bioroid, not my Bioroid, my Robotech Masters shelf, because I have individual shelves for each enemy faction and multiple shelves for the REF and RDF. And yeah, the one that's made up of like the most repetitive figures is the Master Shelf. It's mostly Bioroid Terminators, Zor Primes, and Robotech Masters. So when I was watching Gundam Char's Counterattack for the first time a few years ago, I was watching it and I really liked Char's pilot outfit. So while bored, going through my parts box, I took what essentially was Korg's torso, arms, legs, Zor's, actually no, that's not even Zor's, Korg's crotch, Rand's head, and Zor's blaster, and I created this guy. I've yet to come, after all these years, I still haven't come up with a name for this guy. And my basics idea for him was the idea that they used for Prime in the Southern Cross anime, where yeah, he was a member of the Army of the Southern Cross. His outpost was attacked by the Robotech Masters. He was pretty much taken as a prisoner of war, brainwashed, and made into a slave to the Robotech Masters, fighting on their behalf. And yeah, like I said, you know, I just wanted to do something different. This was a design that looked really different from everything else. So yeah, it was just something I made I made for shits and giggles, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much all my customs for the Robotech The Masters Saga and customs for Robotech The Untold Story. Like I said, I just did these mostly out of boredom and fun. I did them to fill out the collection because, yeah, a lot of characters never got made, and a lot of them were fairly easy to do, just basic part swapping and all that. Yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do my next generation saga collection and my Sentinels 2 slash Shadow Chronicles customs, because I've done a couple of those. If you guys want to see that, then yeah, go ahead and subscribe. Yeah. But yeah, hopefully I'll be able to do that in a few days. If you like this video, just go ahead and like.